Hey y'all, thanks for tuning in to another video. Remember, you can like and subscribe to this channel and look me up on all social media sites as well as visit my website. Um, so this week's video is something that I have wrestled with for quite some time in the physical and in the spiritual and emotional realm. So since in West Virginia, spring is right around the corner, the plants are starting to bud and things are starting to change with the weather. That's when I usually do some spring cleaning around spring break time. And it never fails that during that time, I'll go into my house and I'll start to take things out of the closets, take things out of the bedrooms. And I'm like, how did we accumulate so much junk? Why is there so much stuff? And I'm not a pack rat. Like, I'm one of those people who's like, we don't need it, throw it away. Unless, of course, it's the box to any Apple product, which for some reason feels wrong to throw away. I don't know why that's a thing, but like iPhone, AirPods, any type of boxes, like I keep those. I don't really know why, but I'm not a pack rat. I'll throw something away. If I don't wear an outfit, I'll donate it. If I don't wear shoes anymore, I'll get rid of them. If my kids grow out of something, we donate them to other people. But for some reason, I do spring cleaning in the winter months and then I do it again in the spring months. And for whatever reason, unbeknownst to me, we accumulate so much junk. And I'm like, where did this even come from? Like, why do we have this hula hoop that's broken in half that no one can use anymore and no one threw it away? Like, what was the reasoning for that? And so I started to think about how in the upcoming week, spring break is not this coming week, but the week after. I plan on, going through the process of cleaning out that junk. And it feels like a daunting task because I know based on previous experience that there's going to be things that are just there that I'm not sure why they're there because I thought, we did a really good job of throwing away things as we go. And I started to think about how we do that with our brains and our lives. We accumulate so much junk that we really can't even process or think because our brains are so full of the mush that is all of that junk taking up space. You know, when we're cleaning out our closets during spring cleaning, we pull out all of the stuff, right? At least if you do it the way that I do it, it's like you get to that point and you're like, you know what? I'm just going to tear it all out and then I'm going to organize it and put it all back in. And then you pull it out and it's surrounding you and it's literally debilitating because you're like, I can't move because I'm in the middle of all of this crap that I don't know if I need to get rid of or keep. And so organizing it is like way far down the line. And the same thing happens in our brain when we have something that we're needing to experience. If we've accumulated so much junk, the processing and thinking through that current situation is incapable of happening because there's so much stuff surrounding you that it's like smothering, right? And you can't get to the part where you're organizing and putting it away in a functional space. You can't get to the part where you're accessing your thoughts, feelings, and emotions and life experiences where you're organizing them in a functional way if you've accumulated so much stuff that it's keeping you stuck in the middle of all of it. So what's the junk that we accumulate? I mean, we know what the junk is that we accumulate in the physical, but what's the junk we accumulate in the mental and spiritual space that sometimes puts us in that same position? We're in the middle of it and we're just surrounded by it and it's smothering us. Some of those things can look like other people's opinions. And I talk about this all the time, but it's because it has kept a lot of us in so much bondage that I really believe that we need to keep talking about it until more people realize that they're doing it so we can get out of the weight of that. But other people's opinions are junk. What people think of you, how you compare yourself to others, what their highlight reel looks like is junk. You will use that to process what you should do, how you should feel, what you should think, where you should be. And the reality is, it's just not true. Where they are at 44 might be where another person is at 24. Where someone is at 24 might be a space that someone at 54 is trying to get to. It doesn't matter about someone else's timeline. It doesn't matter about their opinion of where you should be and how you should be behaving. What matters is you being in alignment with yourself. So there may be things in that junk drawer that are valuable to other people. There may be things in your closet when you're cleaning it out that are valuable to other people. But if they're not valuable to you, then they're junk that's taking up space. And so just because someone says that it should be valuable to you doesn't mean that it is. So it may be time to get rid of it, because if you're only keeping it because someone else said that it was cool to have and it's not serving you, it's not serving a purpose in your life, then it literally is junk no matter the value that it holds for other people, which is why I pack it up and give it away. Because those shoes that may be old to me, or maybe they're brand new and I never even wore them, could be of value to someone else in a different space. They're just not valuable to me. I don't wear them. I don't use them. And the same thing is true of other people's opinions. What they think you should be doing does not hold value to you. So why are you holding on to it? Why are you keeping it? Why are you allowing it to take up space in your brain rent free when you don't need it to be there? And if you're really being true to yourself, it doesn't align with anything that you think. So it's just a filter that you're putting things through when you don't even need to use it. The other thing is the conditioning that you've had from childhood. And I talk about this one a lot too, but it's so impactful to the bondage that we find ourselves in. If people have told you that there's a certain way that you should be, there's a certain way that you should think, that there's a certain thing that you should do with your money and a certain way that you should value things, you're going to carry that into your adult life. And when you do, it's going to accumulate and take up space just like the opinions do. And you'll filter everything through that lens. But if it's not in alignment with who you are or who you want to be, you no longer have to hold on to it anymore. It literally is like family heirlooms that people give you, knickknacks. I hate knickknacks. Hate them, because when knickknacks are sitting all around my house, I have to dust them. And I don't want to provide more work for myself because I'm a single mom. I don't have time to be dusting knickknacks. But if someone gives me something that used to be my grandmother's, I'm gonna want to keep it because the conditioning is that it held value for her, so it holds value for me. But I have a plant in my bathroom and I love plants and I water them and I take care of them. And that plant came from my grandmother's funeral and I keep it and I care for it because it's valuable to me, because I like plants and I also wanted to take a piece of her with me. I have plants in my backyard that came from her garden, that were in my aunt's garden, that are now in my garden. And I love those plants and they bring me joy and peace. But the knickknacks that she used to have, they don't have value for me. So someone else might find value in having them on their shelves, but I don't. So if I take that conditioning that those things should have value to me, and I put it on a shelf in my house, it's just taking up space and providing more work for me, the same way that the conditioning from your childhood would do if you put it in your brain. If there's something that you don't hold true to, but your family did, and you put it in your brain, it's just like that knickknack. It's holding space. It's providing more work for you to have to do to work through the conditions of your current life. Because now you have to filter it through the lens of what does that conditioning say I should be doing when it's not even in alignment with who you are. It's junk. It's taking up space. And I know sometimes that's hard to hear because it's like, well, that's my family. Like, I want to take the knowledge that they gave me. Yes, the knowledge and wisdom that they gave you is beautiful, but you also have to discern and decipher which pieces of that wisdom are yours to keep, because some of it is not. Some of it doesn't do you any good or service. So you got to get rid of it. And those are the two really big things that create the condition for us to be in bondage: the opinions of others and the conditioning. We have to stop doing that. And then think about, once you weed out all of the junk and you're putting it back into space, when you organize it, carrying the weight of perfection in that organization is going to make you never want to clean out the cobwebs again. So we have to also get rid of that feeling that it has to be perfect when we put it back. It doesn't have to be perfect. It has to be functional. It can't function to its capacity if you're carrying the weight of conditioning. It can't function to its capacity if you're carrying the weight of other people's opinions. And it also can't be functional if you're trying to create perfection. So we have to get those pieces of junk out of our brain so we can actually process what we're experiencing, how it aligns with who we are and those emotions that we're feeling so that we can get to a space where it's not us feeling like we've accumulated so much junk in our brain that we can't even process what we're dealing with right now. So today I would encourage you to take inventory of the junk that you've collected in your space, not just your physical space, but your brain and your spirit. What pieces of that stuff serves you? And what do you need to get rid of because it's no longer giving you any service in your life? If it's not serving you and it's not in alignment with you, it's time to go ahead and throw it away. It's time to go ahead and get rid of it. Don't be a pack rat for the sake of, but it was given to me by. It doesn't matter. If it doesn't serve you, then you don't have to keep it. You don't have to hold on to it. You don't have to stress yourself by trying to live up to it because it's not in alignment with you and it's not in alignment with what God has for you. When you clean out these spaces, and this is my last point for you, when you clean out these spaces, when you get rid of the conditioning, when you get rid of the opinions, and you get rid of the weight of perfection, what is left? Whatever is left is the substance. That's you. That's you ridding yourself of all the other things that you've downloaded into you. Whatever's left is the substance of who you are. And now, once you get to that substance, you can figure out what's in alignment with you. You can process through the lens of that, and then you can experience joy. Once you organize it in a space that's functional, just like your closet will bring you joy because now it is full of functional items that actually serve you, that are put together in an organized fashion, so can your brain feel that same sense of functionality and bring you joy. So I would encourage you to go through that process of weeding out the opinions, weeding out those conditionings, weeding out those expectations, which is that weight of perfection, and finding a space where you get to the substance of who you are so that you can experience what joy looks like. Thank you guys for tuning in. And as always, remember you can like and subscribe to this channel, look me up on all social media sites, etc. I just encourage you to keep tuning back in, keep sharing with your friends, watch the videos, go to the playlist, watch those when you have times where you need inspiration. I love you guys, and I hope that sharing my stories of eliminating bondage in my life to get to a place of freedom is helping you because I know that that space of peace is something that we all want and need. Thank you again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.